Hey, World Entertainment. Hope you all had a good weekend. And over the weekend, you may have heard this news. At the same time, you may not have, but you're about to, because apparently Paramount Pictures has greenlit Top Gun 3. So far, Tom Cruise has not yet signed on, apparently. So we're going to have a look at this. It's interesting that they want to go with a Top Gun 3. It's obvious why they'd want to, but of course you'd have to ask the question, what would the story be? How would they actually move it forward? As great as Maverick is, it's really just the first movie again, which isn't a bad thing because the first movie's great too, but you kind of need a little bit more a third time. So let's see what exactly the plans are for this. So it appears moviegoers will be soon looking to the skies once more, as Paramount Pictures has reportedly greenlit a third entry into Tom Cruise's high-flying Top Gun franchise. First reported as in development by the Puck's Matthew Bellani's on January 11th, the trequel's first draft is supposedly currently being worked on by Top Gun Maverick co-writer Aaron Kruger, who, in addition to helping pen the 2023 Academy Award winner, is perhaps best known for being the sole scriber behind both Transformers Dark of the Moon and Transformers Age of Extinction, which I don't think that would get too many people excited. Per Deadline's recap of Baloney's, I think it's pronounced, paywalled scoop, so you had to pay to see it. The film is currently looking to reunite the aforementioned Cruise with his Maverick co-stars Miles Teller and Glenn Powell under the watchful guidance of producer Jerry Bruckheimer and David Ellison. David Ellison, of course, is Skydance. Maverick director Joseph Kosinski, I'm not sure how you pronounce his second name, is also supposedly being looked at to either direct or serve as an additional producer on the film. However, as of writing, it appears that none of the above creatives thus far have committed. Interestingly, the news of Paramount's apparent moving on Top Gun 3 comes just 2 days after it was announced that the franchise's star had signed a deal with Warner Bros. Discovery to help the latter studio jointly develop and produce original and franchise theatrical films starring himself in 2024. And if anyone doesn't know that story, he's signed a multi-picture deal with Warner Brothers. And of course, one of the things people are looking at is, does that give more hope to Edge of Tomorrow Part 2 being finally done? I know he wants to do it. I know Emily Blunt wants to do it as well. So we'll see what happens there. It is interesting, all the stories coming out of Paramount all of a sudden, since they've started speaking about selling shares, the majority of the shares for the power, maybe selling franchise stuff, merging with Warner Brothers, which would be really strange at this point then, with Top Gun being talked about and then Cruise signing this deal with Warner Brothers. It's interesting that Paramount is announcing all this stuff right as they're talking about doing this sell and whatnot. All of a sudden they were talking about, oh, we might sell Star Trek. All of a sudden they announced 3 movies in development. A Picard movie, a prequel to the Calvin timeline, and a 4th movie in the Calvin timeline. And now you're hearing them looking to do a Top Gun 3. Now, again, it makes sense that they would want to do a Top Gun 3, being the fact that Top Gun Maverick did so well for them. I think it crossed $1 billion, didn't it? Or came damn close to it. I think it crossed $1 billion, if I remember. So it's obvious they would look to do another one. And once it was done, Cruise was like him and Han about the possibilities of a third one. But as I said, what would the story be? How would they move it forward? How much of the story that ended in Maverick goes forward? Because they did a few things in Maverick that were interesting, but also kind of like, oh, that's sad. Well, no spoilers. I'm not going to spoil it in case you haven't seen it. But it means you take away that type of element moving forward. So it would be very interesting to see what the idea would be and how they move it forward. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see if it is actually 100% happening. I mean, they've greenlit it. It's in development. Doesn't mean it's actually going to get to the screen, because, you know, it could all start falling apart where they just keep handing in draft after draft and they keep just going, look, no, it's not going to work. We'll wait and see, but it's an interesting one, to say the least. Hot on the heels of talks of mergers and selling properties and selling power, and then Tom Cruise signing this deal with Warner Brothers. We'll definitely have to keep our eyes open for this one. So, with that, I will leave it there for this one. So cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.